Okay, so I want to make another video about how your opinion is the most important out of everybody's. Now, I actually had some notes here, so I'm going to quickly have a look. I'm not saying not to listen to anybody. I'm not saying to ignore your parents. I'm not saying to ignore your teachers. But what I am saying is even your parents don't have the same life you're going to, because at some point in your life you're going to be on your own, most likely. And that's kind of depressing to think about, but it's true. I'm not talking about them though. I'm talking about other people and not trusting people who not trusting people over yourself when you know you're right. And that's going to sound counterintuitive, but let me explain. I'm going to say it in a financial term. I started a new job a few months ago and I wanted to start the pension straight away. You may think you have to wait 3 months. Maybe you do in certain jobs. They told me that I had to wait 3 months. When I say they, I mean the finance people told me I had to wait. But they were wrong. And I knew they were wrong because I called the pension team straight away and I said, I want to start this pension. And they were like, yeah, you can start whenever you want. And the reason why I had to call them back is because we couldn't figure out how to start it. But they did say I could start it. And so I was like, okay, I can start it. I called back a second time. They put me through to the finance people before they put me through to pensions. And they said, no, you can't start that. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I'm absolutely sure. I know what I'm talking about. And people see you as a jerk sometimes when you question them. But she was wrong. And I questioned her. And she didn't like me questioning her. And I said it in a polite way. And she wasn't really taking it too nicely. You can just hear in her voice that she's seeing it as an assault on her, on trusting her. And I didn't care because I was told one thing and I've been told another, so I wanted to get to the bottom of it. So I said, well, can you put me through to the pension team anyway? Because I had to ask them another question and I wanted to ask them this. I got put through to the pension team, and you know what they said? You can start whenever you want. Now, that's going to sound like a little thing, but is it a little thing? Because I calculated based on the long term potential growth, and ChatGPT helped me here, so it may not be as accurate as it could be, but to give a ballpark figure, £10,000 by the point I retire would have been how much I lost if I had listened to that one thing. If I had listened to that person telling me that they are correct when they were wrong, and I had a feeling that they were wrong based on previous information, I would be down £10,000. I would have missed out £10,000, I should say. And this isn't just one example. Well, it is one example, but it's not just the only example that I've had. I've had a lot of other examples in my life, and I can't name them because I've got bad memory, but it's true. It happens, and sometimes you're wrong, and I need to work on that as well. But when you're right, or when there's scenarios where you questioning isn't going to have a negative outcome, it's either going to be nothing or it's going to be something extra. Why would you not do it? Because it's like in this case, either she was going to say you're wrong, and she was going to be slightly annoyed at me for questioning her, and well, she was annoyed at me anyway for questioning her, so it didn't really matter. But either I would have wasted their time and wasted my own time for about maybe half an hour trying to figure this out, and I get nothing. So then you could calculate how much your time is worth for half an hour. That's how much you wasted. And if I was right, then I would be potentially 10k richer when I retire. And because I was right, and because I pressed for it, I was right. And here I am with £10,000 more. Well, I haven't got £10,000 more now, but by the time I retire, you'd imagine that I'd have that £10,000. I should probably tell you I have really bad ADHD, which is why I'm kind of questioning myself as I'm talking. But I'm sure you understand the point I'm making. You need to trust yourself more. And finances is one example of this, but everybody has their own life. And if you ever look into things about opinions and into fact, you understand that not everything people say is fact is fact. And just because someone says something and you don't trust them doesn't mean you're calling them a liar either. You know, if people don't always understand, people don't always understand things fully, people don't always remember. I certainly don't remember a lot, and that's why I write things down. And that can help too. But the point of the matter is trust yourself over other people, especially when it comes to high risk stuff. But you can do it respectfully. That's all I wanted to say.